So at Uber Advertising, one of the things that we actually see is that our experience and our utility for the consumer is really all around the go and the get. And when we think about AI and what it actually means for retail media, I actually go back to what we actually do intrinsically. And we think about AI, and we've been thinking about it and using it for the last decade. When you look at how we've used machine learning and AI and how it essentially connects with a driver to an actual rider, it's very complex. It's essentially something that takes place with great precision. And that same sort of use case is applied to what we actually do from an advertising perspective. And so, one thing that is incredibly important are the signals that are actually a part of Uber advertising. And as a result of the sort of data that we actually have, whether it's location or the kind of things that I like to eat or what I might be buying, that has an opportunity to not just talk about the who, but move into the actual what. And so when we think about the applications of what AI is going to do, it's going to create the sort of serendipity within context to our experience that will drive greater resonance for the advertiser.
So, Edwin, I think of Uber as literally and figuratively at the intersection of real world and digital advertising. So, with that in mind, how are you measuring the bridge between digital ad exposure and the physical world actions like rides and deliveries?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I think about the space and I think about how I grew up, and I'm a bit older in the tooth, we were trying to transact and move from the physical world into the digital. And that was, I think, the last 25 years of our lives. And starting a little while ago, when I had a little time that I spent at Pinterest, I started to see that fundamental flip of us going digital to analog. And what's really interesting is that we're starting to see that come to life, not just planning an intent, but actually capturing the moment that I believe Uber advertising ultimately provides. And so when you think about why advertisers might want to come and work with us, we have high intent first party data signals. We create closed loop measurement that allows you to understand what's happening in terms of whether someone's actually buying your product. And there's this opportunity to actually be right in the moment. And you see it. When I use the app, I need a ride. I might need to actually get something delivered, like dinner, because like my daughter, she has piano lessons every Thursday. Or if I'm a new parent, I might want diapers delivered every couple days because I'm so tired. And I wish I had this service about 20 some odd years ago. Would have been a lot more helpful. So.
Well, as the head of measurement at Uber, your role is, by definition, purely analytical. But there's also a cause for advertisers to have to mine this sense of emotional impact. So how do you, as this analytical person, also dive into that emotional impact?
What's interesting is I wish we could measure emotion. Maybe AI will take us there one day. I'm just kidding. But if you think about the core service as a utility that is delivering that serendipity, that is emotional because you're delivering on convenience. You're actually delivering what I need in terms of, as I was saying, for my family because I don't have the time. That sort of convenience that the advertising is adjacent to ends up creating that deep emotion. And we just actually released a great study just about 2 weeks ago called Gen Uber, which speaks to the mindset of the consumer. The majority of Uber users, they start to understand that Uber isn't just a service that is a utility, it's actually connecting us in real life. A really great example of emotion and thinking about that emotion is when you look at what La Mer recently did with us. If you're into beauty products, you know that brand. No, I see. Nice
Obviously.
skin, David. What's interesting is that they really wanted to connect with audiences that love F1. And if you watched Netflix and you were part of that pandemic rush, in Miami, they literally worked with us to outfit Uber Blacks down to the seatbelt and if you called it and you were lucky enough, you would get picked up in this tricked out, amazing Uber Black with Lumiere products to boot. And it really allowed that sort of local precision and created an emotional connection that I think in the past we would want to get around the content by way of video or publishing, which is wonderful, but actually being there really drove some really good results for Lumiere, but probably also for the people that got that free sample.
So Uber is known for pushing the boundaries in terms of what's possible, in terms of metrics, but at the same time, there's this need for third-party standards in terms of measurement that also have to apply. So how do you balance this? Need to move fast as possible, and also say obey the speeding limits, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. What marketers are looking for is outcome-based measurement, and when you think about that, you have to create incrementality for the marketer. And so those systems that rely on first-party signals are things that we're building right now with marketers. And when you think about standards where you can compare yourself, you need third-party to validate these things. When it comes to brand lift, when it comes to viewability. One thing that I'm really excited about is even coming in as recently as I have, those partners already exist. There's more than 20 of them, and they run the gamut of really measuring brand lift to foot traffic to even the standard metrics of viewability as well as attention. And so I think when you have that full suite, you can go back to an advertiser to say, we're doing right by you, because some of these systems or some of these metrics are only driven by what we can do in a closed system. But then we're not afraid to say, we're going to give you those Uber metrics that allow you to see that third-party measurement and know that we actually perform versus other competitors.